Welcome to Mind the Major. I am C Major. Well, this morning was supposed to be the start of a somewhat positive day. One of somewhat celebration, because 27 years ago today, I was blessed with a son, a junior. So my day was supposed to be mainly comprised of thinking of memories from the past 27 years, speaking to him, so on and so forth. But I was greeted with tragic news upon waking this morning. That news being the death of Congressman Elijah Cummings, Baltimore native Elijah Cummings. Today has turned into a very sad day indeed. Not only for Baltimore, Maryland, but the country itself. I thought about this video, and what I decided not to do was come on and read a list of accomplishments that I got off of Google. You guys can hear that from any network news or probably every other vlogger that'll cover the death of the congressman. What I chose to speak about was his relation to the city. The future of the city. What's to come of the city now that the city has lost its most important advocate. What's to become of Baltimore? Elijah Cummings fought the good fight for decades, was always up for the good fight, always represented Baltimore in a manner that was always professional and in the best interest of his citizens. And it only leaves me to go back to that same question. What is to become of Baltimore? And I don't have the answer. I can't even think about it right now, because I know anybody that inherits that seat will never be able to fill the shoes of the late congressman. No one would put up the valiant fight in which he did with such passion that he did. He was a true Baltimore advocate. And today the city has suffered a tremendous loss. A tremendous loss. I don't even think that people can begin to even realize the magnitude of this situation. I don't even think people can grasp the magnitude of the situation. When you look at where Baltimore stands at the moment, and you think of and you add to that the fact that we've lost our most important advocate. What's next? Who's going to fight for us like Elijah Cummings did? Who's going to fight for us with the intensity, the integrity in which Elijah Cummings had? The main thing being the integrity. Because that's what a lot of people seem to lack in today's society. Sense of integrity. Everyone is so focused on self. And that's one thing that Mr. Cummings did not do. He was actually selfless. He was actually selfless. His main focus was the people. Excuse me. His main focus was the people. And not just the people. We came first. His city came first. Indeed. Then the state. Then the country. But what's to happen now? What's to happen now? I'm quite sure that everybody saw his passion for the job in which he was elected by the people to do. He was not one to cower. He was not one to cower. He was one that stood on his square. He was one that stood on his square and always did what was right by the people. That being said, this has been kind of crazy to say the least. Y'all gonna have to forgive me because the last video was titled "Baltimore has cried its last tears," but unfortunately, that wasn't quite true. And I can see many a tearful days to come. Just with this loss of this one man. With the loss of this one great man. kind of crazy. And, I'm just getting so tired. It's just, I'm just getting so tired. Certain things just leave you speechless. But my, I just have words for the next person that fills that seat which he held for the past few decades. You may not be the person he was, but you could strive to have the morals and the integrity that he had, that he brought to the job. I'm just thinking, we're gonna suffer. We're gonna suffer for this. Baltimore is gonna take a hit. Baltimore is gonna take a great hit. Because I don't see the next person that sits in that seat really having us as a priority, having Baltimore as a priority in the way that he did. I would like for that person to prove me wrong. I really would. But at this time, I don't see it. The only thing we can hope for, the least we can hope for, is that the next person that sits in that seat carries on with his ideals and with the passion that he brought to that seat. Now, I'm not a big political person. I'm not into politics in a deep aspect like that, but I have a lot of common sense, and I listen, and I tend to listen carefully, and I know that he was actually one that stood on his square. He actually stood on his square, and he did it with a passion that I've never seen, that I've yet to see again in anyone within politics. I haven't seen it in anyone. I mean, you have some good politicians, but I've seen none that can match the likes of Elijah Cummings. He was a great man, to say the least. To say the least, he was a great man. So one question. What do we do, Baltimore? What do we do? Do we stand up? Do we stand up and honor the man for the years of dedicated service that he put in? for the city of Baltimore? Or do we just let his legacy just blow away in the wind? Because you got to remember, the next person is not going to be able to match him. The next person ain't going to be able to match him, and probably won't care to try to match him. So now it's going to take some work from us, the people. It's going to take some work from us, the people, to keep them ideals going. I hope my words ain't falling on deaf ears. I try to keep things in layman terms so everyone can grasp what it is I'm trying to convey. What do we do? It's time to work. It's time to work. I said it a few videos ago. We can't wait for someone to come in and save us. And I actually believe, as far as political figures go, he was probably the last one. He was probably the last one that even thought along those lines. I'm going to do everything that I do with the people in mind. The average politician today, they don't have that type of morals. They don't have them type of morals. So it's going to be up to us to hold the next person who fills the seat of Elijah Cummings. It's going to be up to us to hold that person accountable for representing us, the people, in the best way possible. Because anything less would be disrespecting the legacy of the great Elijah Cummings. It's just, I talk about the pain that comes from losing youth on a daily basis. But that pain is so much more intense when you lose a person that's been fighting the good fight for so long, holding the interest of the people up front. And just to lose your number one advocate, it's like being halfway, that's just like being halfway to the destination, halfway climbing the mountain, and you halfway there, and to have somebody just to stomp on your fingertips and watch you fall back down to the bottom. That's what it feels like. Right now we're falling. We falling. We falling. With the loss of the great Congressman Elijah Cummings. I'm so sorry. I apologize for stumbling over my words and so forth in this video. But my mind just can't get off of what Baltimore is set to endure in the upcoming weeks, months, and years without him fighting for us. I fear what's to come of us. I ask that the Creator help us guide the next person. Guide that next person to at least carry on with the great man's ideals. Have as much integrity, have half of the integrity by which he brought to the job. If that person comes with at least that, he can grow into the rest. With that being said, Baltimore family and friends, I love y'all. We all family, because we got mom in common. C major. And I'm out here.